If that can be done, I think we can truly revolutionize the future of India and the possibilities for our export sector to grow much faster. On brand, you also talked about missions supporting it. Incidentally, the Honorable Prime Minister has already given a KPI to all the 200 odd missions in the country, over 90 odd missions, that they will be assessed for their performance on the 3 T's: trade, technology and tourism. So already missions are under directive that they have to support our exporters of goods and services, help you get new opportunities, new business leads into those countries. They have to help attract new technology to India, and they have to support your efforts, or those of you who are involved in tourism, to get more tourists coming to India. So these 3 T's are already a part of the mission's KPIs. And therefore, I would urge all of you to start engaging with our missions. And should you face any difficulty anywhere, please let our ministry know. Commerce Ministry will be happy to facilitate any engagement you wish to expand with the missions. You spoke about the shipping costs. They were certainly high during the COVID period for some period of time. However, before that, for years and years, there were lows. Remember, a regulator can affect you both ways. Sounds very good when the prices are high to talk about control, to talk about regulation. But when they were selling below cost, when ships and shipping was available below cost, then the same regulator would have to allow the shipping company to charge you based on the assessment of costs. And at that time you would all cry that we are uncompetitive because we have to pay more for shipping compared to the other countries. Point 1. And point 2, it is in that same period of high shipping costs that our exports were the highest here. That's because shipping cost was high for everybody. So you are on an equal footing with other countries, your competitors also. Any of you in this room? And this, as they say, Kal Chakra to ghumte rahega. For a short period you can expect some help, some protection, some support. Like PLI will give you a kickstart for 5-7 years initially, help you invest, help you get scale, help you capture markets. But these things cannot be open-ended, cannot be lifelong. Every industry will have to compete, every industry will have to stand on its own advantages. And I have no doubt in my mind that the 2 trillion, I think 27 looks to me to be a little challenging. My own estimate is we'll do 2 trillion by 2030. Of course, if the situation becomes very favorable to India, and if all of you are able to really exert a lot of effort, I would be the happiest person if we can do it by 2027. But sadly, we've lost some time in COVID. We are losing the momentum because of the conflict in between Ukraine and Russia right now, which has caused so many economic stresses worldwide. Inflation, supply chain disruption, energy issues, all of these are stresses in the system which have delayed some of our plans. My estimate is that if goods were to grow at about 12% CAGR in dollar terms, and services were to grow at about 18-19% CAGR, both touch 1 trillion each by 2030. It's quite modest, but yet quite challenging. It's more than we have ever achieved in the past, sustainably on an 8-year horizon. And if we do this between goods and services and are able to reach 2 trillion by 2030, I think it will be a tremendous support for the Indian economy and help India create huge amount of business opportunities, work opportunities, economic activity, and inclusive growth for, if you don't like it. But कुछ बातें अभी घिसी पिटी हो गई, उसी को रिपीट कर करके कुछ नहीं होने वाला। और ये बात मैं पहली बार नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मैं भी रिकॉर्ड की तरह ये बात 10, 12, 15 बार बोल चुका हूँ। मारुत को मालूम होगा कितनी बार ये बात मैं समझा चुका। अब फिर भी आपको लगाना है रेगुलेटर, तो मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा रेगुलेटर लगाने के लिए। पर यू बी प्रिपेयर्ड and don't come and cry when the shipping is going below cost. Then why India has to pay more for shipping? So it's a sword that cuts two ways. And I would urge you, learn from the IT experience. IT sector success, and they tell me, I'm not from that industry. They tell me a part of their success, good part of their success, is because they kept the government out of their business. They are focused on their business. They don't want government clutches. They don't want government support. They are growing 20% without the involvement of the government. Few sectors occasionally come to us, hotels and this and that, for a little small support. A relatively smaller subset of the industry. But believe me, my own journey as a minister in 8.5 years, my learning is that our industry, the moment it is allowed to fly, moment the clutches are removed, the moment they are allowed to be on their own and succeed based on their competitiveness, the quality of service, the Indian ecosystem, which includes trust, rule of law, a decisive, strong government, the strength of democracy. I think these are the areas which will help us capture larger markets. And then certainly be a few sectors where we will not be competitive. Every country cannot do everything. Let us focus on where we have a comparative advantage. And don't depend on these clutches which will never make our industry competitive and which can never be good for the nation and its consumers. Because the moment you are protecting an industry, you are also hurting 130 crore Indian consumers. We protected the auto industry up to 84, 85, and we had only... You are the ones who bring strength to India. Very often I've said we are under a mistaken impression if we think our population is big. It's actually a boon. Our billion plus aspirational Indian market is what attracts a lot of companies to India. It brings economies of scale, it brings opportunity, and helps us become, in the years ahead, some people say the next decade will be India's, some say 2 decades will be India's. We've also had somebody say the next century will be India's. And it doesn't come just out of the blues. It's a well thought of, well articulated, well researched and well analyzed point of view that many world leaders are today expressing. And therefore, the role of friends like you, well-meaning exporters, organizations like CII, acting as a bridge between government and exporters to understand each other, to be your voice, share your suggestions and ideas with us, is extremely important. And therefore, I must thank all of you for organizing this day-long discussion. I have noted with interest all the points you have flagged off. Very often we are seized of many of these and dialogue with many EPCs or industry associations, but I'm sure the inputs you have flagged off today will be extremely important in our work going forward. As regards the MRAs which you flagged off, I'm finding very little traction in many parts of the world to enter into MRAs. At least the developed world is very hesitant to accept too many MRAs for whatever reason. Maybe they need more time to get the confidence in our ability to provide that high quality goods and services. But the way forward, in my humble opinion, is that we also put quality control orders on products that they want to supply to India. And then we'll have an equal footing where we'll be able to say, okay, you give us an MRA, then we'll give you an MRA. And we'll recognize your institution so your goods also get a chance to come into India seamlessly. Reciprocity is the way forward. But my problem is, whenever I'm out there to put in a quality control order, I get representations, pleas, and memorandums requesting not to put a QCO or keep deferring it for one reason or the other. So I would urge all of you to reflect on this association, to discuss with stakeholders. You tell us which are the industries where you are willing to have a QCO. At least that can be a starting point. That will give us some leverage over the other countries, give us an opportunity to start getting down onto the negotiating table. And very often I've also appealed to the large industry that in your sector, it is your duty, it is incumbent on you to support the smaller players so that they can also understand the benefits of a quality control order or a focus on high quality and handhold them to meet the quality requirements. It's actually economically prudent to provide good quality goods and services. Quality is always a profit. Good quality product is never a cost, it's only a profit. And if we can get this movement on quality going in the country, I think getting MRAs also will become possible when it's a quid pro quo or a equal footing on both sides. The demand should come from industry in developed economies also. That guys, please do an MRA with India. On a one-way traffic, when we request, it won't happen. And therefore, and very often, some of you face non-tariff barriers due to the quality control orders. US has 4,500 QCOs. We have only 450. And you resist our effort to introduce high quality standards. So I'll appeal to all of you, reflect on it, and support our efforts to help you. And it will ultimately help the country move up the value chain and start making quality our brand, what you also talked about, building the brand for India. That will only come with high quality products. You buy a watch in Switzerland or chocolates over there or a machine tool in Japan or Korea, you assume the quality will be good. Why can't we have India associated with that same sentiment about quality? It can be, we can begin with maybe 10 products, grow to 100 and expand to the